Yeah. Good morning to all of you. First of all, I would like to welcome all the participants in today's session, and I welcome you, Dr. Purnima ma'am, to guide on the this today's session on the quality issues in pharma industries. So it is very genuine and genuine topic, and it is a need of our to know what are the challenges in the pharma industry now facing, as well as in the industry as well as student. So I request Dr. Purnima madam kindly guide our student, our participant in this session. Over to you, Dr. Purnima madam, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Dahikar, for such a nice introduction and for such a genuine introduction to our pharma professionals and pharma people. So, along with you, Mr. Dahikar, I would like to welcome you all pharma professionals through this pharma job portal who are interacting with us every Sunday with a different topic, with a different session, with a different speakers, and with a different people of these pharma professionals. So, what we think is when the knowledge is shared, it is being more powerful. And with this object, we kept in mind, we have started the different sessions of these different live sessions on these pharmaceutical based topics that are being more very much useful. It's not a training or it's just a sharing of knowledge between you people and we, because whatever we learned in this pharmaceutical industries, that's uh, you like people from who make us understand how the pharmaceutical industry works, how these pharmaceutical industries are the requirement. So the today's topic is quality issues in the pharmaceutical industry. So before starting my session, let me thank my mentor, Shri Santosh Karmakar sir, who is employed in a very renowned pharmaceutical industry at a very senior position, for being a very fantastic mentor. What I believe that if every person has a mentor like him, definitely he will reach the height of success. So along with my mentor, I would like to thank all my subscribers, all my pharma professionals who are eagerly waiting for our live session from India and abroad. And before starting my session, let me share one thing, that whatever I'm going to share with you all is totally depend upon my past experience that I have gained in this pharmaceutical industry. So let's start today's session, the quality issues, general quality issues we are facing in these pharmaceutical industries. So here is the topic we are going to share with you all, that is the general quality issues. I have kept in mind to share my knowledge or share my thoughts around the quality issues we are facing in daily routine life of this performance of this pharma industry. So as per the William A. Foster, quality is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, intelligent direction, and the skillful execution. So we may say that quality is, we can't get the quality at a glance or overnight we can't get the quality. It is always the result of high intention with a good leader, very good team leader who guide us, the total team members, for intelligent direction and skillful execution. So another definition of quality is, it refers to how good something is compared to other similar things. So if we are going to consistently manufacture 10 or more than 10 batches, then definitely it's our responsibility to give a consistent quality to each and every batch to get the degree of excellence. What the ISO said, as per the ISO, the totality of features and the characteristics of a product or the services that bear on its ability to satisfy stated or the implied needs. So there are different definitions mentioned by different guidelines by different agencies. One of the definitions I have put here as per the mention some guidelines with respect to this quality that are being useful to get the quality products in the pharmaceutical industry. So here are the key features of pharmaceutical qualification system. It should ensure that the desired product quality is routinely met. If we are going to manufacture several batches of the similar product, then definitely we have to get the routinely quality products in each and every batch. The suitable process performance is achieved. The set of controls are appropriate, improvement opportunities are identified and evaluated, and the body of knowledge is continually expanded. So these are the key features of the pharmaceutical quality system that we kept in mind to ensure that we are getting the right quality at every time and at every basis. So key activities of this quality insurance, but not limited in. The very first thing is the documentation control. So we have to control the documentation as a QA plays a very important role to circulate or to issue the documentation documents to each and every department. And the another portion is the training. If we are going to provide the very training in a very substantial way, in a very routine way, then definitely we get the quality products. QMS handling, QMS also plays a very important role in the quality system. Then qualification, calibration, and validations. These are the important aspects for the key activities of the quality assurance. Then again, audit management is also play a very important role for this maintaining the quality of the product. And again, the vendor management. If we have to maintain the vendor management system also a very good system. PQ is also performed. We have to procure a material, whether it's a primary material, whether it's a secondary material, whether it's a raw material, solvents, which are going to directly or indirectly affect the product quality should be of should be from the certified vendors. All vendors must be qualified. So with the help of this vendor management, we can also get the quality products for each and every batches we are manufactured in the manufacturing area. So the some challenges of the QMS system that includes like the batteries, technology absorption, data integrity, investigation of failures, qualification and training, audits, changing regulations, and automation. So these are the some important key points that we are going to face due to the QMS management, which we will discuss in another slides or in another session. Here is just an outline of all these QMS systems. The first one is the data integrity. The organization should have the data integrity policy based on the DI principle. That is, the organization must play a very important role for GDP practices that leads to ALCOA and ALCOA plus. So, if we are going to implement the DI in our industry, in our organization, what are the challenges we are going to face? The very first challenge we are going to face is single instance of DI observation will lead to suspect entire data and organization as a whole. And it is a very difficult to identify whether the DI instances are due to lack of awareness or the intentional. So it is said that doing mistake is not a crime. You are always welcome to do the mistakes, but the mistake should be just only because of unawareness and because of lack of training. Because of lack of training, then it is permissible. But if the mistakes are doing intentionally, that it is very harmful to the organization and it is harmful for the product quality also. So how can we investigate the failures? The organization should have a very clear let down procedures of QMS system that leads to out of specification, out of trend, deviations, whether it's planned or unplanned, market complaints, incidents. So these are some common factors we can say that with the help of this QMS system, we can investigate the failures of quality in our product, failures of these failures that we are not getting the quality subsequently in each and every batch. some of the following tools to investigate the failures, that we are not getting the proper quality of the product, that we are not getting the proper quality in each and every batch. It should be with the help of Shikawa diagram, failure mode FMEA, that is failure mode effective analysis, 5 why analysis, faulty tree analysis. So these are some common tools that we are using in common industries, in pharmaceutical industry, to investigate the matter, to investigate the quality failures in our products, that we will discuss in detail in future. So the another one is how to investigate the failures. If we are going to investigate the failures by using the different tools, we have these different challenges. So what are these challenges? These are the dealing with investigations where root cause is not identified, repetitiveness of the failures, invalid OS, lack of product knowledge due to poor technology transfers. So these are the common reasons, because these are the common reasons that we are going to face as the challenges for the investigation of the failures. Whether we have a very controlled system with the help of Shikawa diagram, FMEA, and technology transfer, although we have to face all these challenges during the investigation of the failures, during the investigation of the quality issues in our products. So, qualification and training are the most important tool to overcome from these quality issues. All the equipments, systems shall be appropriately identified, qualified, calibrated, and maintained. Personals shall be well trained. The persons operating all these equipments should be well trained and should be subject matter experts. If we don't have any operators or the chemists of the subject matter experts, then definitely, although we have a very qualified equipment, although we have a calibrated instruments, then we have to face the quality issues in our products. So it is being recommended that if the man, material, and personals, these are the must be well trained, that they are all must be the subject matter experts before commencing the any activity in the manufacturing area or the testing area. So again, we have to face the challenges while maintaining all this: lack of technical and the competent personnel to qualify the equipment. Whether we, although we have a facility, but we are lacking with the technical and the competent personnel to qualify all these equipment. So there may be another chance to not getting the quality product at the end. Then lack of skilled personnel to learn and acquire on-job training. Once the personnel is joining the organization, he or she should undergo induction training. Under this induction period, the person should have the on-job training by the superiors, by the personals, or by the HOD of the department where it is being employed or where it is deployed for future activity. So audit is also very plays a very important role for getting the quality products. The manufacturing sites, testing laboratories shall be all time ready for the regulatory inspections. It is being said that online entries, all the data must be regularly maintained. That if we get a short notice of around 24 hours for the audit, then organization must be ready, the person must be ready, all the records must be ready for the audit purpose. But when we are going to say that we are ready for audit, we are ready for any inspection, for any regulatory inspection, then definitely we have some challenges like online activities, production, lab, warehouse. They are not performing on the online activities. As soon as they get the information from the audit point of view, they start doing all these things. And when we are doing all these things in a hurry, in a last moment rush, then definitely we will have the data integrity issues, we have a GDP issues. To avoid all these, it all activities must be online. Then proper archival and retrieval of the documents. Once the batch is over, once the testing analysis is over, it must be retrieved or it must be archived at a archival room at a designated place with with a proper labeling and with a proper rack system to uh, get the documents whenever on requirement, whenever it is audit requirement, or whenever when it is being required by the another external agencies. Then material management. All the materials that must be come into the pharma industry, it should be from the approved vendors, from the qualified vendors. Then each and every personnel involved in that material management must be demonstrated completely for the activities to be performed, the activities to be performed during and after the receiving of the material, how it is to be issued, how every person should have the knowledge of SAP system. All in the routine pharmaceutical industry, all this material management is performed by the SAP system. So it is being recommended that the person involved in that activity, it must be gone through the SAP training. Then again, equipment cleaning. The equipment cleaning also plays a very important role for getting the quality of the product. If the equipment is not properly clean, or the whole time of the equipment is not properly done, or it is not properly activated by the pharma professionals or the HOTs of this particular pharmaceutical manufacturing area, then it may invite the growth of microbiological organism. It may invite the future complaints also. If so we may say that the equipment cleaning plays a very important role for achieving the quality of the product. It is being recommended that when the equipment once clean, when we say that the equipment is clean, then it should be rinsed, final rinsed with the solvent, and it should be dried completely with the nitrogen gas or the vacuum dryers. Labeling, then again, labeling with the appropriate details and the statuses. It is being recommended that once the batch is over, once at any stage, either it is in granulation stage, either it is in compression stage, or either it is in a coating stage or packing stage, each and every batch material should be segregated with a very proper label and status of this particular batches of this, including all these information like name of the material or the name of the product, batch number, manufacturing expiry, shelf life, then the mode of this the next activities that is going to perform, that is prior to packing, prior to compression, prior to coating. So all these information should be labeled, and all these activities should be performed prior to next activity. Again, the changing regulations, one must be updated with the changing regulations, that there are different regulatory authorities that timely issues, or they timely release their guidelines in the form of amendments, in the form of annexes. So the quality assurance persons or the regulatory affairs must be updated with this regulatory guideline to avoid any last moment rush during the audit. Again, we may have the challenges that shall may have the risk assessment and evaluation system, product and process. There must be a data matrix must be prepared by considering the system, considering the products, considering the processes against the new guideline. For example, the latest impurities, that is a nitrosomal impurities, one must be aware that if the nitrosomal impurities is present in our final product, what may be the impact. Then again, the latest guideline as per the COVID-19, the regulatory again releases the guideline for the COVID-19, that the person must be aware of all the symptoms of this asymptomatic as well as the symptomatic symptoms of this COVID-19. And the employee or the personnel must be aware, must be trained all these that what are the outcomes if the person hides all these symptoms from the seniors or the superior authority. So the again the reason is lack of training, lack of knowledge, lack of confidence that yes, we can do the best, that we are going to manufacture the quality medicines, that we are going to manufacture the life saving drug. So the person involved all these activity must be healthy and must be trained in all these activities that they are going to perform. Again, automation, as we know that there is a regulatory requirement that all these equipments, all these instruments must have the data printers, must have the data loggers. Because if we in the long time back, there is a practice to write with the help of pen and pencil on this logbook, that can be edited anytime, that can be drafted anytime. So there is a another requirement of this regulatory, that each and every equipment, each and every instrument must be automated, for so that the person should not be edited or should not be deleted any data that should not be data integrity, should not be having any releases with the help of this intentionally, that some person may intentionally erase the data, that may some person may intentionally release the data, they may take the data not suitable for this industry. So it should be ready for the automation of the plant. If we have the automated system in each and every equipment, we may have the authorized personals, that we may do not have the data integrity issues at the time of audit. Again, there is a challenges if we are going to say that if we must have all these instruments as per the electronic signatures and record. The current requirement of this automation is the system must comply 21 CFR Part 11 and with electronic signatures and all these records. Now, the as we are going to say that every time we have some challenges, every time we have to overcome all these challenges. So the quality assurance plays a very important role for this to achieve the quality of the product. So it is being said that quality assurance is the backbone of any industry, any pharmaceutical industry. It may be a food industry, it may be a beverages and agency. So it is being recommended that all the personals belonging to quality assurance department must be well trained, must be well knowledgeable, must be well qualified, so that it plays a very important role to get the quality products. The another one is the QA is plays a very important role in the production in the form of IPQA. In QC, there is a analytical quality assurance. It is also called as the lab QA. In R&D and analytical research and development, there is also another QA person. Then engineering assurance, in the department of engineering, there is also assurance given by the quality assurance people. Internal audit is also plays a very important role for carrying out all these difficulties, for to overcome all these doubts just before the audits. So it is being said that internal audit should be like a fact finding, not the fault finding. So during the internal audit, the auditee and the auditor sit together and find out the solutions of each and every quality related issues that we are going to face during the process, after the process, and dispatch, and during the manufacturing issues. So with the help of this, so internal audits are planned as per the company facility. It is being recommended by the regulatory agencies that at least each and every department should be audited twice in a year. Yeah, or we may say that once in 6 months, each and every department is audited by the internal qualified auditors with the qualified persons, and trainings and QMS related activities also being performed as per the guideline. So again, the way forward to overcome the challenges, we have a model that can help the pharmaceutical manufacturer comply with CGMP, the Six System Inspection Model. As per the CGMP, the regulatory authorities that are going to inspect any pharmaceutical industry, they follow the Six System Inspection Model. The Six System Inspection Model comprises of quality system, production system, facilities and equipment system, laboratory control, material system, packaging, and the labeling system. All these quality system we will discuss one by one in the next slides. So broadly we can say that the inspection model, it comprises of quality system, production system, facility or and the equipment system, laboratory control system, material system, packaging, and the labeling system. These all six models we will discuss one by one in coming slides. The very first, quality system. So the very common observations and the challenges, for example, quality system. This system assures overall compliance with the CGMPs and the internal procedures and the specifications, not only undertaken or overseen by the quality assurance or the QC, but it involves many other responsible departments, including the cross-functional department that are responsible for carrying out the final quality of the product. Again, as I said earlier, that QA is the backbone of any pharmaceutical industry. If we have a very strong QMS system, if we have a very strong qualified person in our quality assurance department, then definitely we will get quality products at the end, at the because the QA person is solely responsible to provide the training, to provide the auditing, to provide each and every activity that directly or indirectly affects the product quality. Again, SOPs, training, records, and good documentation practices. It should also be being solely responsibility taken by the quality assurance person. So, the very first common observation and the challenge is the lack of written procedures for production and the process control. So, it is being seen that written production and process control procedures are not followed. Although we have a very common standard operating procedures, we have a batch manufacturing record, but it is seen that the person are not genuinely following the instruction that are being written in these documents. So these are the very common observation, and these are the very first challenge that any quality person face in this industry. Again, why procedures and for the production and process controls are not written, and if written, why it is not followed? So it is just only because of the overconfidence. The person or the operator must think that if he is working since long in that production area or in the QC area, he may or get some confidence that whatever the act I am going to do is rightfully done and not it does not impact the quality of the product. So there are some other reasons, but the one reason is the lack of SMEs. Some people have do not have the technical uh, certificates for doing that activity, but some people are very much expert for. So it is suggested that the organization must have the subject matter expert for each and every activity to get the quality product. The it is said that the operator is not a good writer. The person who is performing the activity is known as to be operator, and it he should not be a good writer, or it may be a lack of exposure. So just only because of that, we can't compromise with the quality. The computer operator who is typing these documents, who is going to perform this drafting this document, who's don't have the both, he don't have the technical knowledge as well as the subject matter expert, but he plays a role just to type the documents. So we can't say that it is also a important part. So what are the solution? It's only a solution is hire an expert, train your staff that become a part of subject matter expert. When SOPs are written, each and every SOP must be the training must be given to each and every individuals that are directly or indirectly taking part to perform that activity. Suppose if we are going to drafting the SOPs of this particular instrument, then we have to identify the persons that are going to work on that instrument. So on the basis of TNI, the person must be trained, and it becomes it is being said that if the organization is strictly follow the SOPs, then it becomes the mirror image of each other. As per GMP, it is said that do what is written, or or write what you are doing. So one and the same thing. If any organization follow the same principle, then definitely the practice becomes the SOP, or the SOP becomes the practice. Now, the second observation, as per the regulatory agencies, we are going to face is they are not given the training in the particular operation they perform as a part of their functions. That means on-job training is not being provided. Employees engaged in the manufacture, processing, packing, engaged in the of a drug product lack the education, training, experience, and they required to perform their assigned functions. Sometimes it is being seen that the organization involve the person right from the first day or second day of his joining to do on this job role that is being assigned, that is not recommended by the regulatory agencies, that the person must go undergo with the induction training, undergo with this job training to perform any job that is assigned to him or her. GMP training is also plays a very important role to achieve this quality. Training records maintained is not a challenge here, but the document maintains everywhere. The main challenge is when the inspector asks the doer or the actual performer. It is seen that as the audit came, the person, the different person of the department, even some senior persons just fulfill all these training documents that yes, we have done all this training, we have given all this training to all these employees. But the major problem comes when the inspector calls that doer, that particular person signed that training document, that he is not aware of all this activity, he just signed this document. So it may be because of the employees are found the lack of knowledge and the lack of the training. It's just documented evidence that we have performed all this activity. So it is being recommended by the regulatory agencies that at least the doer of that particular area, the doer of that particular machine must be properly trained before performing that activity. The How to overcome the challenges, the trainer or the supervisor must play a role of teacher. It is being said that the whatever may be the trainer or the supervisor under that holding the situation to supervise the juniors, he plays like a role of teacher. He must be train each and very first thing he should be trained. Then again he is able to provide the training to all these juniors, to all these persons to perform the activity, how to get the quality product. Then again in production system, so these are the quality system challenges that we are going to face. Then common observations and challenges and the overcome. In the second system, that is belongs to a production system, the common observation and challenges are: the appropriate controls are not exercised over the computer or the related system to assure that the changes in master production and control records or other records are instituted only by the authorized personals. It is being said that at the end of the month, just only because to get the production target, the people manufacture all these batches, whether it may be tablets, whether it may be the capsules, whether it may be the dry syrup or the injections, and that documents are they going to complete in the next month. That should not be done. So it is a very common observation seeing in this pharmaceutical industry. Again, they are not given value of the computer or the system validation. The computer system validation is another important important validation system that is being included by the regulatory agencies, but still some of the manufacturers do not give the importance to the computer system validation. Then it should be validated. Then again it is simply required that your computer system validation covers everything including authorization as well as the process control. So the very common observation is the challenges in production system is production persons were not practicing the good sanitation and health habit. Very common very common observation is in the good sanitation and the health habits, that when the operator are observed working in the core areas without the nose mask, not sanitize their hands before touching anything, or the moving faster, especially in the aseptic areas, there are very common problem. That is, and just only because of the lack of training, lack of awareness, and lack of the regular practices. So how we can overcome from this? The trainer or supervisor must create the awareness among the employees to follow the proper health and sanitation practice as laid down in the SOP. Again, some other information regarding the facilities and the common observation. The third challenges in the facilities: the number of the qualified personnel is inadequate to perform, to supervise the manufacture, the processing, the packing, holding of each drug product. Again, the question comes with the training, that every person should be trained, whether it may be in any of the department, any of the sections. What is the issue? When inspector asks the strength of company, the details of the employees or the task force observed, not rational with the activity. The same case most observed in QC, the number of analysis is observed irrational with the analyst of the case chemist. It is being seen that the person is being overloaded. That person is that similar chemist is performing the duty in first and morning and the second shift, and just only because of this overloaded, it may happen that it may not give the quality results as per the expectations. So as per the regulatory authorities, it is being recommended that the organization must have the adequate number of persons, adequate number of analysts, adequate number of the personals to perform the activity. So, the very simple things to overcome such challenges, we have to maintain the manpower according to the workload of each department. If not maintained, activity running with adjustment is sure and not acceptable by the authority. The fourth one is the laboratory control system. The test specification of raw material and the finished products are not specify the sample quantity against each test and the traceability of destruction of unused quantity. So it is being said that the raw material and the finished products are not specified as per the sample quantity. The incidents that are being occurred in the laboratory is not properly investigated. Kappa is not justifiable. The kappa has been taken, but the firm is not recognizing. The firm is not holding that is the kappa taken in the previous incident is effective. So it is recommended by the regulatory authority that the whatever may be the kappa taken for the incident, whatever may be the for deviation or any activity that happened in this manner during the testing or the manufacturing, the kappa must be effective. And chemical lab observe the lack of safety precautions. The laboratory must have this safety, must follow the rules given by the environmental health and safety regulations that it is being also recommended that in every organization there must be a EHS proper foolproof EHS system to avoid any accidents and to avoid the rear tearness. The material control system. The material control system comes under the warehouse or the store area. It is being recommended that the rack numbering and the material location traceability should be inadequate. That the rack numbering should be proper, the proper documented. That it should be kept in either in alphabetical order, either in decreasing order. But whatever may be the pattern you are following, it must be written in SOP and it must be displayed just behind the rack or in front side by the rack. Control the environment for the temperature or the RHS of the sensitive products, they are not maintaining that it should be maintained as per the storage condition being specified on the outer label of any material, whether it's of hard gelatin capsule, whether it's a primary material, whether it's a raw material, whether it's a solvent. So it is being recommended that warehouse must follow all these written instructions for this storage of these raw materials. Then material status labeling is inadequate. The material once received in the plant, it must be properly gone through all the systems like the quarantine label, under test label, sampled label. All the labeling system that is followed by the organization must be followed during and after the activity. Again, FIFO and FIFO. First in, first out, and first expiry, first out. It should be followed. It should be followed in RM and PM dispensing. It is being said that at the time of dispensing, the some person overlook all this activity, and the it is suggested that the warehouse should have the list of first in and first out. At the same time, another requirement is first expiry and first out. Suppose we are having a paracetamol of different batches of a different timeline, definitely it should be released either in first out or first expiry first out. Suppose if we receive a paracetamol today, is having a short expiry, then it should be released prior to the another batch. For quarantine, under test and rejected material, whole time not addressed in the SOP. As I told you in the previous slide that the whole time period is also plays a very important role. So, for quarantine under test rejected material, how much time is required to hold the material, or how much time is suitable as per the suitability should be addressed in SOP, and the firm should follow all these activity as per the written specific procedure in the standard operating procedure. Again, the material control system is in this area. We can say that SOP is not available for handling of excess and additional material. Sometimes it may observe that back to back we receive the material in this warehouse, either it's of raw material, it's of solvent, it's of any of additional material flow is not unidirectional, chances of cross contamination may be there. So it is being recommended that the material should flow in a unidirectional way, which should be done with a standard operating procedure, and to avoid any cross contamination during the flow, during the dispensing, during the transfer of from one area to another area. So it is being recommended that again the store personnel, the person involved in that dispensing area, the operator, the supervisor, the person should be well trained and qualified. Again, the temperature mapping of the storage area is not covered for all three seasons. It is being said that the temperature mapping is done every day, but the temperature mapping for all three seasons like summer, winter, and rainy season is not done. That may affect the product quality, and so it is being recommended by the regulatory agencies that the temperature mapping of this at least the storage area and the dispatch area at the same time, dispatch area and the control sample area where we are archiving the control sample, the temperature mapping for all three seasons must be performed. And at the same time, the transportation validation is not performed for the cold chain products. It is being seen that yes, of course, during the manufacturing, during the testing, during the storage, we follow all these storage condition. But once the material is packed, once the material is dispatched from the manufacturer and it is being distributed to the distributor side, that during the transportation sometimes it is seen that it is transported from one state to another state or one city to another city. So transportation validation must be performed as per the storage condition of this particular product. That is not some companies to perform the transport validation, some companies still not following the activity. So what the regulator suggests that yes, of course, you are following all these guidelines during the manufacturing and the testing, but the another guideline for transport validation is also to be done to maintain, to assure the quality of the product during the transportation and up to the dispatch area. Then again, packing and labeling. Sampling procedure for packing material observed inadequate. Quantity of sample not defined for each individual of the packing material. We have the sampling procedure, we have the sampling SOP, but it is seen that the quantity, how much quantity of this raw material, how much quantity of this solvent, or how much uh, quantity of this packing material should be sampled for testing purpose. It is not written in the SOP. So it is being suggested that we have a SOP, but it should have the proper information about the quantity and the how many meters of this raw material, sorry, of this packing material, aluminum foil or the PVC should be taken for the testing process. Long time back, it is being recommended that the for raw material under root n plus 1 sample is sufficient for the testing. And now, as per the current guidelines, in general routine practice, it is being seen that the sample should be withdrawn to repeat the analysis. If for some time it is being required to repeat the analysis, then sample should be sufficient. Handling of printed packing material, especially for labels management, is not inadequate. So it is being suggested that the printed packing material, especially labels where the labels are being printed in number of thousands, the management is not there. It is being released on requirement sometimes, but it should be recorded as per the procedure. Then no SOP for handling of return excess packing material. Once the material is issued to the production department, to the packing department, so the firm is not having any standard operating procedure. Firm is not having the instructions how to get the excess packing material from the blister machine or from the packing line. And again, the reject room for packing material is not available. It is seen that the rejected room for the packing material for the finished good is available, for the recall product is available, but for the packing material it is not available. So it is recommended that rejected room for packing material should also be there. Then the quality and integrity are doing right even when no one is monitoring, and watch an individual. So it is being said, it is being recommended that do the right things even if no one is monitoring, even if your supervisor is not there, and watch the individuals. So these are the some quality challenges we have discussed we are going to face during the manufacturing of the drug, during the testing of the drug, during the dispatch of the drug. So I think you all are must be familiar with these some quality issues we are facing in our routine life, in our routine manufacturing activity. So at the end of this presentation, I hope you all are very much familiar with this concept and how to perform the integrity during the any work we are performing. So as it is being said, seen that it is being said that the pharmacists are the manufacturer of this life-saving drug. So everyone must be follow the integrity. Everyone must be do the right job, even if no one is monitoring, even if no one is supervising your activity. Just be ensure that you are doing the right job. You are not doing the any mistakes intentionally. So thank you so much. Thank you so much to all viewers for our connecting, for sharing all this information, for sharing this, subscribing all these channels. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dahikar sir. Thank you so much all.
Yeah. Thank you so much, ma'am. It was very nice interaction and nice talk regarding the quality issues in pharmaceutical industries. You mentioned all the important factors which is importance and must be modified, or what is the solution we can found. How can you improve the quality, and what are the challenges in the pharmaceutical industry? I hope the participants of today's event is understand what is the challenges the industry is facing. Ma'am, we can take some questions. Dear participant, you can drop a question in a chat box or in the comments. One questions, ma'am. Can I ask one question, which is asked by Purnima Hasmani? Yeah, Purnima is asking, ki, is a QA separate department or else in the every department QA person should be must?
Sorry, I am unable to hear your question. What? Can you please
Yeah,
repeat?
Purnima Hasman is asking, is the QA separate department or else in every department QA person should be must?
Okay, so what I understand is the viewer is asking the QA is separate department or in every department QA is there. Is it so?
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, so QA is individual department. QA holds a responsibility to issue the different documentation, different the process analysis in different and different department. So QA is a separate department with QA plays a role of like a police inspector. He interferes in each and every department, whether it's a quality control, whether it's a production, whether it's a store department. To the role of quality assurance is just to ensure the quality in each and every stage. So if the quality assurance is present in production area, then it is being named as in process quality assurance. If it is present in quality control, then it is represented as a lab QA. That means the person belongs to QA, but playing all this role in this quality control area, but he is wholly responsible for the quality of this product. Then if it is in the engineering department, if it is in R&D department, so the documentation part of all this factory is solely responsible for the quality assurance.
Yes, ma'am, yes. Thank you, thank you. One
So
another question is asked by Guru Murthy. He want to just focus on the challenges during regulatory audit. So, what are the challenges during the regulatory audit, ma'am?
the very first what I understand is the challenges during the regulatory audits. Okay, So the very first common challenge is training, that I shared you, that as we came to know that the audit is coming and so date is given by the regulatory authority. The very first thing, the very first document they asked is the training, whether the person performing this activity is trained, whether the person is performing that process is having the subject matter expert. Then the we generally the organization, what they do is they do in a very simple language, they just fill up the documents. So
Yes.
QA is the responsible for all this carrying out this activity. So QA holds the responsibility for the complete activity, for complete assurance that any activity that is during and after the manufacturing or the testing process is doing as per the regulatory norms. So the very first requirement is the training. The second one is the online data integrity. The third one is the good documentation practices. Then again, the audit trials in quality control. The audit trial is very important part they play in during the regulatory audit. Then the person, either it's a operator, it's a supervisor, he or she must be trained either internally or the externally. So these are the
Yes,
common
exactly.
requirements during that are documents required by these regulatory agencies. Again, the materials we are procured from the different vendors. The vendors must be qualified. The vendor must be approved with this internally.
Yeah. Ma'am, one other question asked by Gurumurthy. Please focus on guide for CFTS.
Uh, CAPA. Yes, the CAPA is the CAPA. CAPA means corrective and preventive action. So, corrective and preventive action is taken for any incidents or for any deviation that is being performed during the activity. So, corrective action is taken to avoid to correct the unwanted act performed during the performance, and the preventive action is to take the actions to avoid the recurrence of same kind of mistake in future. So it is being suggested by the regulatory agencies, once the kappa is taken, the firm must analyze that the kappa taken is it effective, is it working. If it is not working, then the kappa is not being seen that the kappa is working. It's just for the namesake. So it is being suggested that if you are getting any corrective and the preventive action, it should work, and the same kind of mistake must not be repeated in future. So this is the
Yes,
meaning of kappa. This is the main importance of this kappa.
yes,
It's
yes.
a
Thank you,
part
ma'am.
of
Thank you.
QMS system also.
Yes. Yeah, ma'am. One another question is asked by Vikas Blaze. Ma'am, how to handle the reagent in a laboratory, how to handle the reagents, lab chemicals, and how to discard as per SOP. Any SOP for discarding the laboratory chemicals?
Yes. We do have the SOP for the discarding of chemicals, because once the material is sampled, suppose we are taking the 50 into 2 gram sample for the analysis person, definitely sometimes we need to repeat the analysis, sometimes we don't need to repeat the analysis. The remaining material must be discarded as per the standard procedure. It is being suggested that any alkaline and the acidic solution is to be prepared to nullify all these, to dissolve this material, and once the material is dissolved, it is being sent to the ETP, effluent treatment plant, and all these things should be performed in all these points should be written in SOP, and it is being recommended that as per the organization policy, as per the organization's facility, all the materials, all the extra materials, all the leftover materials of these chemical reagents and chemical materials should be discarded as per the standard operating procedures. And yes, one more thing, the supervisor or the immediate senior person is responsible for the discarding purpose, not the junior person solely responsible to discard all these materials, because it also impacts the environmental health and safety department. So it may cause a harmful effect to our aquatic animals as well as the persons.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. One other question is asked by Shivani Srivastava. How can we use the waste HPLC water? How can we use the waste HPLC water? That is mobile phase.
I couldn't get the question, sir.
Okay, okay. Uh, Ma'am, another is by Guru Murthy ki please focus on DI.
The data integrity.
Yeah.
Yeah, so data integrity means there is a confusion among the pharmacists that what is the difference between GDP and the data integrity. So the GDP is if something is writtenly wrong. Say if we are going to write the date that is 11th of February 2022, but by mistake it is being written as 10th of February 2022. So simply cut it a simple give a single cut and with the initial you can give the right answer, then it is a part of GDP. But if someone intentionally wants to hide the date by crossing several times on the same date, then it comes under the category of the data integrity. So this is the main difference between the GDP and the data integrity. Nowadays the issues pertaining to this data integrity is a very largely seen in this industry area. So the training with respect to alcoa and alcoa plus plus is very much important, plays a very important role for this coming out for overcoming all these data integrity issues during the audit and during the routine practice.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. It was nice explanation. Ma'am, one other question is the what should be expiry for volumetric reagents?
Okay, so what are the expiry? It depends on the nature of the material. In general, it is being said that the solid material having the shelf life of minimum 5 years, but again, it depends on the manufacturer. And as far as the solvent, once after opening the any of the reagent, the shelf life decreases like from 5 year to 3 year, and it solely depend upon your the atmospheric condition, your storage condition, and as well as the nature of the material. But in general, it is said that 5 to 3 year shelf life is there.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, thank you so much, ma'am. All the questions asked by audience is over. Really, at the end of this session, I would like to thanks the team of Operant Fatra Federation and the admin of this event, Mr. Sandashi sir, who has started the pharma job. And it is a really wonderful session, and it's wonderful informations by Purnima ma'am. And it's a lot of comments were issued and very good comments. That is very informative sessions throughout the India. I'm really thanks Purnima ma'am for your nice talk on today, and thanks to all the OEP team. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I really want to share that it's a great honor for me whenever I'm asked to share my knowledge with you all people. So really, thank you to all subscribers, thank you to all viewers, thank you to Shri Dr. Dahikar sir, and as well as the owner of this Pharma Job Portal, Shri Sannyasi ji, for getting interacting with you, with us all people with this pharma background. So
Yeah,
very soon
yes,
we will meet again with a new topic, with a new contestant, with a new speaker. So till then, have a good day. Have a nice day.
yeah. Thank you. Good day. Bye bye. Yes.